Good morning, everybody. Thank you, SAP. Thank you, LTI, for having me here at the SAP Sapphire. My name is Jasim Abdurrahman. I'm the Group CIO of Power International Holding. Power International Holding is a diversified business conglomerate headquartered in the state of Qatar. We are a company with interests in construction contracting, in industrial manufacturing, in healthcare, in agriculture, dairy production, hospitality, lifestyle, real estate, hotels and resorts. We are broadly into 7 sectors with around 65 legal entities. We have actually delivered 1,000 plus projects. We own around 500,000 square meters of industrial manufacturing space. We run around 85 odd restaurant chains within Qatar and in some places outside of Qatar as well. We are the largest milk producer of the country. We own around close to 90% of the market share. We run some of the largest shopping malls. We own around 200,000 square meters of retail space. We are into healthcare. We run some luxurious resorts and hotels in the region, in Maldives, in the West Indies and places. We had 15 odd different ERPs working in the company. You name the ERP, we had the ERP in the company. All these companies were operating in silos from a process perspective, sharing of information perspective. We really didn't have that efficiency of scale. The ERPs that we had were actually very old. They were nearing end of life. We had 70%, some of them 70% customization. So really the upgrade path, the sustainability was all a bit of a challenge. We want to be a company which is driven by data and not a company driven by heroes, if you like, right? So it has to be a process-driven culture, a data-driven culture. So with that vision to become a data-driven organization, the task that was given to us was really break the silos across the company, build a digital core across these different industries and companies and clusters that we had that will allow us to really have standardization of processes were applicable. For example, financially have a single chart of accounts, procurement wise have a unified material coding structure, have a project cost control wise have a unified cost coding structure. So create a layer of harmonization, standardization, best practices, and then create something that will take the organization for the future. So that being the vision of the board. If you talk about the program itself, the transformation program itself with SAP and LTI, the idea was that we wanted to actually create something that would help the business to scale up. So when we started the implementation, we had around 25 entities. Today we have 66 entities. The program currently caters to around 5,000 plus users on SAP, on S4 HANA. We've actually implemented around 690 plus business processes on SAP. Around 23 odd SAP products are implemented. Between them there are around 41 SAP modules being in play, is currently in play. We've also created a lot of solutions to the cloud. So we created around 10 odd different industry solutions, which I'll speak about in a while. We also had a lot of interfaces to be done. The construction guys had their own interfaces for planning purposes with Primavera, with estimations purposes with CCS Candy, with integrating with some tools, equipments. The hospitality guys had point of sale systems. The hotel guys had the front of house. With all of these processes and modules and interfaces, we today track around 300 plus KPIs in the company across different companies and functions. From an execution perspective, we had to do around 60 odd different business workshops. These workshops were super important because they were the only time where we could discover what the businesses do currently and what are the opportunities to harmonize and standardize, and how kind of we put in place a lot of best practices within all of those companies, because clearly there was a lot of legacy practices built in, and we had to kind of undo a lot of those practices. We had to carry out around 1100 plus training sessions to train all of this 5,000 plus users on the system. Data was a big challenge for us. So we had to actually carry out multiple data migration cutover because there was these iterations. Each time the iteration went through, we kind of improved the quality of data, and that was really one of the biggest objective of the whole program, because we wanted to become a data-driven organization. That was one big challenge for us, I would say. All of them put together, we kind of spent around 400,000 man-hours of effort to actually go through this transformation. We, right from the onset, we had decided that we want to keep the core clean. All the diversified businesses that we had, we always knew that there is going to be something very niche for each one of them that S/4HANA might not be able to cater to. Some of them, it was straightforward, like the catering business that we had. They were pretty standard. We could go in SAP. Some businesses like construction, real estate, we had to create some industry solutions. If you talk about the construction space specifically, we delivered a lot of good innovations on the construction space. Talk about a few. One of the solutions, what we call as an project pay chain app. This is an app which actually collapsed the inefficiencies between us as the contractor, our subcontractors, and our client. There was always a lot of inefficiencies in the way progress was being monitored, was being reported, was being certified, the billing practices. We had a lot of challenges in there. By creating this pay chain portal and bringing the subcontractors, the client, the customer all together into one platform, we kind of transformed that space completely. So that was a big innovation for us, and today we are really seeing a lot of benefits out of this pay chain solution. One of the other solutions that we actually did was what we internally call as the planning synchronizer. The planning synchronizer is a simple solution which connects the planning system, which is Primavera P6, with SAP, and then the CCS Candy systems for the estimation. So the BOQ estimates budget would come from the CCS, Candy the time part comes from the Primavera, and the actual costs comes in SAP. So the synchronizer brings all of them together on a near real-time basis. So today, if I want to know what's the progress on Primavera in terms of time of all the different activities, we can know on the click of a button on demand, or it gets automatically pushed. So this synchronizer was a huge innovation for us. This is something over the past 10 years, a lot of our senior folks in the construction space have really dreamt about. So by realizing this, today we can really see the progress happening on a daily basis. We are able to better control the destiny as well. Another innovation that we did was what we internally call as the resource deployment tool, or the resource kaleidoscope. The resource deployment tool is a simple tool that ensures that the deployment, the allocation of resources, the mobilization of projects, the demobilization of projects. When I say resources, I mean manpower as well as equipments, are all managed within a particular centralized tool for all the projects. So this ensures that the bench strength is well monitored, utilization of equipments and manpower are very well monitored. We're ensuring that the right skills are deployed at the right projects, and this solution gives us that absolute visibility on what are the resources that needs to be deployed, where and when. And this is a big innovation for us. And today we had scores of people who actually were looking at all these different people, where are they moving, where exactly are they, tracking them down. All of that is past. So now in the single cockpit, you are able to see what are the resources available and where they need to be allocated and deployed. Another key innovation was the engineering cash flow solution, or the engineering cash flow app. This, I think, is a very, very common challenge within the construction industry, to be able to have a good prediction of the project cash flow. Financial cash flow was always a possibility with any ERP. The project cash flow, with the progress coming from a different system, and we actually had to tap into 8 or 9 different parameters within the planning system, the estimation budgeting systems, the actuals, the treasury, financials, all putting them together and being able to predict what's the cost at completion, what's the cash flow required for the project. This was a big innovation for us, and this for us, it's very early days for us on this particular app. It's gone live, but we can see that this is going to add tremendous value in the way we do projects, especially because we have big ambitions, big expansion plans, and I think this is going to help us a lot. These are some of the apps, industry solutions that we've built on top of BTP. There are a few others as well pertaining to HR, point of sale systems, integration systems, marine management. We have a large marine business as well, where we want to manage the ships and the barges and the crew. So we've built solutions on BTP that allows us to really integrate and manage these businesses better. But generally speaking, I think it has been a tremendous journey with SAP, with LTI. It was never an easy journey. The whole transformation happened during the pandemic. It was unprecedented time, a lot of unknowns, new things playing out in terms of hybrid working, people getting sick, execution of projects remotely, people are unable to travel, doing an user acceptance test of this scale with the users in one place, the consultants in another place, the IT guy sitting at home. I mean, it was a challenge. But if you look back, it's something we all feel really good about. It was a decently done project. We still have some of our challenges, of course, in terms of ensuring the quality of data is still good, the quality of transactions are still good. The change management is a big aspect on which we are really focusing on to ensure that this is sustainable for the future. But I think so far, whatever we have done, the building blocks that we have put in place, I think we're going to be okay. Thank you so much once again, SAP and LTI, for this great partnership and for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you.